Hey guys, Arrowhead here. I know it's been a couple weeks. Honestly, it's been much longer than I thought it would be. I didn't mean for it to be this long in between breaking down tracks, but I just got a little busy and school stuff happened. But today I'd like to break down my track, The Reckoning. So it was my second most recent one that was requested by Birdman, so shout out to him. But so let's just, this is the project, and I will play it in its entirety. And again, if you don't want to hear that, I'll put timestamps down in the description so you can skip it, and then just get right into where I talk about it. But I'll just play it first. All right, so there was the track. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I made this track towards the end of the summer of last summer. So it's actually been a while since I made this track, so I don't remember a whole lot about it. But I opened it up and looked at it just so I could kind of refresh my memory on what I did here. But it starts out with this pad that I made in Silent 1. Oh, that's right. You can't hear that. We'll go there. Pretty simple pad. Kind of a deeper pad with a sine wave and with 6 voices and a triangle wave with 4 voices. And with a significant amount of detuning to kind of give that super soft feel. Especially, where is it? 132, especially if you hear it up there. It sounds kind of like a super saw, but this automation here controls this EQ. So as the song goes up, this automation goes up, and it gradually opens up that saw. This pattern right here is kind of the intro, first actual substance that you get, and it's made up of two massive patches. This one being soft harmony. Sounds kind of windy, sounds kind of forlorn. And this guy. I use this one a lot. Kind of an Asian vibe. Sounds really good. I think I use this in Shizuka and a couple other things, but it sounds pretty good. And so altogether, the intro sounds like this. You know, just kind of sets it off on a colder note. I wanted the vibe for this song to be kind of darker and colder, and I think that sets it off pretty well. And then the next pattern we get into is this guy. So I bring in the pianos and the main chord structure of this song. So I used this Lab soft piano, and again this pad, and then I introduce a couple plucks here. They're basically all from Flex. This was when Flex had just come out for FL, and so I was really excited about using it. So as you can see, these are all routed as 6. So let me open this up a little bit, and so yeah, you know, basic EQing, a little bit of sound goodizer, and you know, some other EQing, so not anything super heavy. And I increase the frequency, the higher frequency of the low pass as it goes on. So the top pattern here doesn't change at all, but I introduce a little bit of the drums. So let me just, there we go. So here's my kick, and here's my snare, and then these guys down here are the Foleys. So they're the kind of naturalized sounds, I suppose. These I think I got these all from a pack from Oscuro. He's awesome. If you don't know him, you should check him out. These have reverb on them and some EQing, and I routed them to a Foley bus where I controlled the EQ, and I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe that's just a little bit of a boost with some reverb and some stereo enhancer. But it sounds pretty good. Right here, I bring in this guy, and I also bring in this piano right here. This guy right here. Well, it's not a piano, but it's a key. Sounds pretty good. So this was the pattern for that tremolo. The processing I put on here was just, you know, basically more the same. Reverb, a little bit of EQ, and an automation EQ. Nothing too fancy. And then I bring in the bass line. So very simple bass line, made with 3 different basses. One of them being from Flex. Lucky Pluck, and I made it so that you could slide it. One of them being a massive sound that I made. Just 2 oscillators, pretty simple. And then I made sure that I did the glide as well with the mono again. And then the last one is actually normally a super saw. It's a super saw, but I turned on mono and turned on the slide, and so the overall effect is this. There you can hear the super saw. So yeah, I was hoping it would be like pretty powerful, and I think I did end up getting something like that. So it sounds pretty good, you know. I do a little bit of changes with the drums here when I introduce the bass, you know, and I add in a little bit of a hat right here. I add in a couple reverse sweeps. And I generally kept the same structure for the Foleys as the first part. Foleys are kind of hard if you know, they take a while to get right, so I think I got them right over here, and then I just kept them, which probably makes for a kind of boring song, but, you know, it is what it is. When I introduce pattern 7 up here, I basically reverse the flow of the arpeggiating piano. So, so this one is going up on pattern 5. And this one on pattern 7 is going down. Just to kind of add to the dynamics. I forgot to even talk about the actual notes that I was playing for the plucks, but here they are. Pretty basic. Yeah. And to finish off the first main part, I have this guy right here. Like that. The first thing I do is I remove this pad right here that I had going on in 7, which sounds like this. So I take that out for pattern 10 in the bridge part, and I only leave the very basics of the structure. I leave 2 of the plucks, the arpeggiating piano, and 2 of the 1 piano and 1 pad. And I bring a lot of EQs down and volumes down, just so you know it's like the bridge part. One thing I did for this vocal chop, these came from a Vila pack that I bought, and what I did was I lowered the velocity of each note to give it a reverb effect without actually putting reverb on it, because I wanted greater control of it. And then I also panned each note, so you hear it go from ear to ear. And the processing on that voice is this guy. So here it is without effects. Extremely bland. But I put on some EQing, some reverb, some sound goodizer, actually a lot of sound goodizer, and some enhancer. And with all that stuff, you get the full effect. So that continues on for a little while until we reach here. Here I bring back one of the basses, and this thing that was at the beginning over here, this kind of airy, windswept feel pad. And this is all with the same bass structure as before, and then on the second pattern it goes up at the end. Like that. I automate a couple reverb levels here. And here I basically just created a reverse, and then with those chops again, I just used one of them. It's actually from a different pattern. There we go. So as you can see, there's more stuff here, but I only ended up using this piece right here for the actual vocal chop. And then right back into kind of the same thing. So obviously I added more vocal chops just to vary it. But everything else is kind of staying the same. The tremolo here, the basses, the patterns are the same, and the Foleys are the same. I keep the hats throughout the whole thing for the Foleys this time, though. And the main focus of the second part is really the vocal chops, whereas the first part it was more of the Foleys and the bass. The main focus of the second part are these vocal chops down here. Thing I do add is these two saws, which I got from Mazan Griffin pack, and they're basically like the same chord structure, but I just introduced them early on with a low. Well, let me just go to with a very low a low EQ. And then I slowly raise up that higher side of the of the bandpass over time as the song stretches on. Kind of opens it up and gives it more power as the song goes. I did not mean to do that. So then the song just kind of ends off on the on this same pad that I brought it in on, with I actually have both pianos this time, kind of competing for the up and the down. So yeah, and I kind of bring a bunch of EQs down and volumes down, and at the end I just kind of let it ring out. So yeah, that is the whole song. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about it, and yeah, I'll try not to let it be this long till I do the next one. I know a couple more were requested, so I'll get to those. But yeah, it was too long from the first one I did and this one. But yeah, hopefully you like that. And stay safe, guys. Until next time, I will see you guys later.